Welcome back to the channel where we uncover rare coins, untold stories, and life-changing finds that might just be sitting in your rarest coins. That today's spotlight is on a coin that most people have likely seen, but few truly understand. We're talking about the 1965 Lincoln penny. While millions of these pennies were minted and most are only worth face value, one extremely rare version has been reported to sell for as much as $1.8 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin from 1965, worth nearly $2 million. How is that even possible? What makes it so special? And could you have one? Let's break it all down. To understand this penny's value, we have to start with its historical context. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse of the coin showed two wheat ears, which gave rise to the nickname Wheat Penny. In 1959, that changed to the Lincoln Memorial design to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. That design remained in place until 2008. Now, let's focus on 1965. In the mid-1960s, the United States Mint was going through a coin crisis. Silver prices were rising rapidly, and there was a nationwide coin shortage. As a response, the U.S. government made several emergency decisions. One of the most important was the removal of silver from dimes and quarters starting in 1965. They also temporarily stopped placing mint marks on all coins from 1965 to 1967 in order to discourage coin hoarding. What does that mean for the 1965 penny? The 1965 Lincoln cent had no mint mark, even though it was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. Over 1.5 billion of these pennies were struck, and they were made using a copper alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That makes them visually similar to other pennies of the era, but the real intrigue comes from the rare mistakes made during this unusual time at the mint. Let's talk about the million-dollar question. Why would a 1965 penny be worth $1.8 million? The answer lies in a combination of a rare minting error, historical confusion, and perfect preservation. During the switch in composition for silver coins and the chaos of removing mint marks, several mistakes occurred. One of the most significant known errors is a 1965 Lincoln penny that was accidentally struck on a 90% silver dime planchet. That means the coin was supposed to be a silver dime, but instead received the design of a penny. Because of the difference in metal and size, this coin came out looking entirely different than a normal cent. It's lighter in weight, smaller in diameter, and silver-colored instead of copper. It's an incredible error, and only one such coin is known to exist in pristine, uncirculated condition. This error coin was eventually authenticated, certified, and auctioned off to a private collector who understood just how rare it was. Its combination of historical context, unique minting mistake, and near-perfect grade pushed the price up to a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. And here's the exciting part. There could be more. These kinds of coins are not just museum pieces. They slip through the cracks. They end up in drawers, jars, coin rolls, estate sales, or family collections that haven't been touched in decades. Most people have no idea what to look for, so they toss them into circulation, never realizing the potential treasure in their hands. What should you look for? Start by checking the date. Your coin should clearly show 1965 with no mint mark, which is correct for that year. Next, check the color. A genuine copper 1965 penny will have the usual reddish-brown or darker tone, but a rare silver dime planchet error will look noticeably different. It will have a silver hue and might even appear smaller than usual because the blank used was meant for a 10-cent coin, not a 1-cent coin. If you have a precision digital scale, weigh the coin. A normal 1965 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs less, closer to 2.5 grams, or even slightly under that, you may be holding a silver planchet error. This weight discrepancy is a huge red flag, in a good way. Also, inspect the edges. Pennies have smooth edges. Dimes have reeded or grooved edges. If your 1965 penny has any signs of reeding or abnormal edge patterns, that's another strong clue that if your coin checks any of these boxes, it's time to stop what you're doing and send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate the error, determine its grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder that confirms its identity. A high-grade, verified mint error from 1965 could fetch thousands, tens of thousands, or, in the rarest cases, over $1 million. Now you might be wondering, how often do these kinds of things happen? The truth is, mint errors like this are extremely rare, especially from the 1960s. The U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure during this period, making billions of coins under changing conditions. Mistakes did happen, but very few survived, and even fewer were preserved in mint state condition. That's why the 1965 silver planchet penny is so valuable. It's not just an error. It's a piece of history, born from one of the most turbulent times in American coinage, and it serves as a powerful reminder. Even the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary value. The next time you go through your pocket change, don't overlook the pennies, especially ones from the 1960s. They might be more than just copper. They might be worth a fortune. Wrap it all up. The 1965 Lincoln penny is usually worth just a cent. But in rare, extraordinary cases, like the silver dime planchet error, it can be worth as much as $1.8 million. That coin exists. It has sold. And who knows, another might be out there, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories about rare coins and unexpected treasures. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across a strange or unusual coin, or if you want us to explore another year in a future video. And remember, always check your change. That penny could be your $1 million surprise. See you in the next one, and happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like this script adapted for shorts, chapters added for YouTube, or customized for voiceover recording. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, hidden treasures, and the surprising value of change that might just be hiding in your pocket. Rarest coins today, we are diving deep into the world of the Lincoln cent and focusing on a very specific and mysterious coin, the 1984 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, one version of this coin has reportedly sold for a staggering $1.2 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin turning into over $1 million. So how is that possible? Let's break it all down. Let's start with some history. The Lincoln cent was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured a bust of Lincoln on the obverse and, originally, 2 wheat ears on the reverse. In 1959, to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday and the 50th anniversary of the penny, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This version remained until 2008. Now fast forward to 1984. The U.S. Mint in Denver, Colorado produced the 1984 penny. Over 6.5 billion of these coins were struck that year, which makes it seem incredibly common. And it is, in most cases. You've probably handled dozens of them without a second thought. But hidden among those billions are a few extremely rare and valuable versions. What makes the 1984 penny so special? Well, the story revolves around mint errors. Specifically, a few 1984 pennies have what collectors call a double die or double die error. This happens during the minting process when the die that strikes the design onto the coin has been improperly prepared and strikes the design more than once, but slightly offset. The result? Visible doubling on certain features of the coin. For the 1984 Lincoln penny, the most famous double die variety shows clear doubling on Lincoln's ear and sometimes on his eye or jaw. This kind of error is not only rare, but also fascinating because it's not caused by damage or post-mint tampering. It's a true mistake made during the coin's production. That's what makes collectors go wild for these pieces. They're one-of-a-kind manufacturing anomalies from the U.S. Mint. But what about that $1 million claim? Here's where things get really interesting. In the world of numismatics, that's the study and collection of coins. Rarity and condition are everything. If you have a 1984 penny with a strong double die error, and it's in mint or near mint condition, meaning it was barely handled and has little to no wear, its value skyrockets. Now, most 1984 pennies are only worth face value, just 1 cent. Even some with mild doubling or in circulated condition might fetch between $10 to $50, maybe a few hundred if they're especially clear. But the top-tier examples, those graded MS67 or higher, showing strong doubling and preserved perfectly, those are the unicorns. In at least one documented case, a nearly flawless 1984 D double die Lincoln penny with pristine surfaces, brilliant color, and extremely sharp doubling sold at a private auction for around $1.2 million. Let that sink in. A single penny, once just spare change in someone's pocket, turned into a life-changing amount of money. That's the power of numismatics. Oh, how do you know if you have the million-dollar version? Here's what to look for. First, under good lighting or with a magnifying glass, examine Lincoln's ear. Is there doubling? Does it look like there's a second outline or shadow to the ear? That's your first clue. Look at the eye and the chin as well. Strong doubling in these areas can indicate a valuable error. Then, check for the D mint mark just below the date. This confirms it was minted in Denver. If your coin matches these criteria, it's worth getting professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Condition is key here. Coins that have been in circulation, scratched, or worn down lose value fast. The most valuable coins have been preserved, either accidentally or intentionally, in nearly perfect shape. And here's another tip. Look through old rolls of pennies. Check jars of change from older relatives. Search estate sales, flea markets, or garage sales. Many people have no idea what they're sitting on. It's not just about the 1984 D either. There are dozens of other Lincoln cents from different years with valuable errors. But the 1984 D double die, especially in mint state, is one of the kings that lets wrap this up. The 1984 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that something seemingly ordinary can be extraordinary under the right circumstances. It's a coin that shows how history, art, manufacturing, and luck can combine to create something truly valuable. If you have a 1984 D penny, check it carefully. You might just be holding a six-figure or even seven-figure treasure in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins and collectibles. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or want to learn more about specific years or mint errors. And don't forget to check your change. You never know what it's worth. Until next time, happy hunting. Would you like a version formatted for a teleprompter or split into chapters for YouTube? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the surprising world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the incredible value that might be hiding right in your pocket change. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about the 1976 D Lincoln penny, a coin that most people would barely glance at, but which could actually be worth up to $1.4 million in rare cases. That's right, 1 cent turning into $1.4 million. So how is that even possible? And how can you tell if you have one of these incredibly valuable coins? Let's dive deep into the history, mystery, and market behind the 1976 D Lincoln penny. First, let's set the stage with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909 when it was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. From 1909 until 1958, the reverse side of the coin featured wheat stalks. In 1959, to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the design changed to showcase the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design created by Frank Gasparo. That reverse design remained all the way through 2008. Now let's zoom in on the year 1976. Now, most people associate 1976 with the bicentennial of the United States, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. You'll see special designs on quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins from that year. But interestingly, the penny did not receive a special bicentennial design. The Lincoln cent from 1976 looked the same as in previous years. It featured Lincoln's bust on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. No Liberty Bell, no date range of 1776 to 1976, just the usual design. But hidden within that year's production are some very rare and valuable coins that collectors today are desperate to find. The 1976 D penny was minted in Denver. The Denver Mint struck over 4.2 billion of these coins. That's billion with a B. So at first glance, it sounds like this coin should be one of the most common coins in America. But that's where things get interesting. Because hidden among the billions of pennies are extremely rare varieties and errors, and one of them has reportedly sold for as much as $1.4 million. But let's talk about why. The massive value comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and most importantly, mint errors. In the coin collecting world, mint errors are mistakes that happen during the production process. These aren't damaged coins or post-mint alterations. These are genuine errors made at the US Mint, and when they're rare enough, collectors go crazy for them. Some of the rarest 1976 D. Lincoln pennies show dramatic doubling, known as a double die error. This means the design on the coin was accidentally struck twice, slightly offset, which causes parts of the lettering or Lincoln's face to appear doubled. On some of these rare coins, you can see visible doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." That kind of clear doubling can increase a coin's value dramatically, especially if the coin is in mint state condition. But there's more. One specific 1976 D penny has achieved legendary status among collectors. According to several high-profile coin auctions and private sales, a rare error version of the 1976 D Lincoln penny in near-perfect condition sold for as much as $1.4 million. This particular penny was a dramatic off-metal strike, meaning it was struck on a planchet or blank coin, meant for a completely different denomination. In this case, the penny was struck on an aluminum planchet, likely an experimental leftover from early 1970s mint tests. That error alone makes it rare. But combine that with the fact that the coin was preserved in virtually flawless condition, and you've got a perfect storm for $1 million coin. So what should you look for? If you've got a 1976 D penny, the first thing to do is check the mint mark. The D indicates it was struck in Denver. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Look for any signs of doubling on the text, especially the date, liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust." Check Lincoln's eyes, ears, and jawline for signs of doubling. If you think you see something, don't assume. You should get it verified. Also look out for anything that feels off. Is the coin unusually light or heavy? Does it have a different color or metallic tone than usual? Could it be struck on the wrong planchet? These are clues that something could be very special about your coin. If your penny has any of these characteristics, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and certification. Let's talk about value. Most 1976 D pennies are worth face value, just 1 cent. Even ones in decent circulated condition might fetch a few cents to a couple of dollars. But if your coin has a dramatic error, and if it's in extremely high-grade condition, it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or in the rarest of cases, over $1 million. A coin that is both rare and in perfect condition is a dream come true for collectors. Here's the big takeaway. There are still valuable coins in circulation today. People find rare coins at garage sales, coin rolls from the bank, estate sales, and even inside old jars of change in their grandparents' homes. The next $1 million penny could be sitting right under your nose, and the 1976 D penny is proof of that possibility. It might not have the flash of a bicentennial quarter or the shine of a gold coin, but it has something even better: the potential to turn your pocket change into life-changing money. So now you know. Keep your eyes open. Check your pennies. Don't ignore those old coins lying around. You never know when you might be holding a piece of American history and a financial jackpot all in one. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into rare coins, collectible currency, and the amazing world of numismatics. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or want us to cover a specific year or mint mark in a future video. And as always, happy collecting and keep hunting. Let me know if you'd like this formatted into a video chapter list or shortened into a TikTok or YouTube short script. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, surprising treasures, and the unbelievable value that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that most people ignore, but collectors know could be worth a life-changing amount of money. That coin is the 2006 D Lincoln penny. While billions were minted, and most are worth just 1 cent, a rare version of this penny has been reported to sell for as much as $1.1 million. That's right. A modern coin from 2006, worth more than a house, more than most luxury cars, and possibly sitting unnoticed in someone's drawer. So how can a coin so new and so common be worth that kind of money? Let's find out. First, let's take a quick look at the background. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American history since its introduction in 1909. It was created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. The front, or obverse, features a portrait of Lincoln based on a photograph taken in 1864. The reverse design changed over the years. From 1959 to 2008, it displayed the Lincoln Memorial, which is the version found on the 2006 penny. The 2006 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. That year, the mint produced over 3.9 billion pennies with the D mint mark. Most of them are common, and they're made of copper-plated zinc. That means 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. These are the modern pennies you still see every day, but not all 2006 D pennies are created equal. What sets a few of them apart and makes them worth serious money are rare minting errors. Mint errors happen during the production process at the U.S. Mint. These are not damage caused after the coin leaves the mint, like scratches or dents. These are mistakes made by the mint itself, and that's what makes them so desirable to collectors. One of the most fascinating cases is a 2006 D penny that was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal used to make a coin. Bronze was the standard composition for pennies before 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to the cheaper copper-plated zinc. Somehow, a leftover bronze planchet from the early 1980s got mixed in with the newer blanks at the Denver Mint and was used to strike a 2006 penny. The result was a 2006 D penny with the color, weight, and metallic composition of a coin that shouldn't even exist. This one-of-a-kind mint error, combined with its near-perfect condition, made it one of the rarest modern pennies ever discovered. When this coin was certified and authenticated, it stunned the collecting world. And when it went up for auction, it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin, barely 20 years old, worth more than a beachfront property. So how do you know if you have one? There are a few key things to look for. First, check the date. It needs to be 2006, and there must be a small D mint mark just under the year, indicating it was minted in Denver. Then, look closely at the color. Most 2006 pennies have a bright reddish tint from their copper plating. A bronze penny, on the other hand, has a darker, more solid reddish-brown tone. Next, check the weight. A standard 2006 copper-plated zinc penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. A bronze penny from the earlier era will weigh closer to 3.1 grams. You'll need a precision scale, the kind jewelers or coin collectors use, to measure this accurately. If your 2006 D penny is heavier than it should be, you could be holding something extremely rare. But even beyond the bronze planchet error, there are other valuable 2006 D penny mistakes. Some examples include doubled dies, which show extra outlines in the lettering or in Lincoln's portrait, and off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned. There are also die cracks and coins struck on foreign or missized planchets. Any of these errors, if confirmed and graded in high mint condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you think you found a 2006 D penny with one of these rare features, your next step is to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services will examine your coin, confirm if the error is real, determine its grade, and then encapsulate it in a tamper-proof case. Once your coin is officially graded, it can be listed in auctions or offered to collectors for serious money. Where might you find one of these hidden gems? Believe it or not, people still discover rare coins in the most unexpected places. Start by checking your own change jar, coin rolls from banks, or coins stashed away by older relatives. Estate sales, flea markets, garage sales, and even old cash registers can hold coins that haven't been looked at in years. And with the right combination of luck and knowledge, you could uncover something truly valuable. Now let's wrap this up. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is one of the best reminders that even modern coins can carry hidden value. While the vast majority of them are just everyday change, a small handful are rare minting mistakes that slipped through the cracks at the U.S. Mint. In rare cases, like the bronze planchet penny, These coins have turned up at auction and stunned the world by selling for over $1 million. And the best part? They're still out there, waiting to be found. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, or you're going to check your change a little more carefully from now on, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or want us to cover a specific year or mint mark in a future video. And remember, the next time you get a penny back in change, take a second look. It might just be worth a fortune. See you in the next one, and happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like this broken into chapters for easier video editing or adapted into a shorter format for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Welcome back to the channel where we explore coins, collectibles, and the rare treasures hiding in plain rarest coins. Today's video is about a coin that millions of people have touched, but almost no one has truly looked at closely. It's the 1976 D. Lincoln penny. While it's an ordinary coin to most, one rare version of this penny has shocked collectors by reportedly selling for as much as $1.5 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin from 1976 with a Denver mint mark that became a $1 million piece of history. So what makes it so special? How can a copper penny be worth more than a mansion? And could you have one in your own collection? Let's get into the story behind this fascinating coin. Let's start with some quick background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909. It was first released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, or front of the coin, features a portrait of Lincoln created by Victor David Brenner. From 1909 until 1958, the reverse showed 2 wheat ears, known as the wheat penny. In 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. This design was used all the way until 2008. Now let's talk about 1976. It was America's bicentennial year, a time of celebration and patriotic pride. Special commemorative coins were released that year, including the bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, each featuring unique reverse designs dated 1776 to 1976. But the Lincoln penny was not part of that bicentennial series. The mint chose to keep its regular design, which meant that the 1976 D. Lincoln penny looked just like the pennies from surrounding years. It had Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. And the D under the date shows that it was minted in Denver, Colorado. In total, the Denver Mint produced more than 4.2 billion Lincoln pennies in 1976. Most of them are extremely common. You can still find them in circulation today, and in average condition, they are worth just 1 cent. So what makes a small handful of these coins so valuable? The answer is mint errors. In the world of coin collecting, what's considered a mistake is often what makes a coin incredibly rare. A mint error happens during the production process, and depending on the type of error, it can drastically increase the value of a coin. Some of these errors are minor, like a small die crack or a weak strike, but others are major and incredibly rare. These include off-metal strikes, double strikes, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. And that brings us to the story behind the $1.5 million 1976 D penny. One known example of this penny was struck on a silver planchet, a blank that should never have been used for a penny. Silver had been removed from U.S. coinage in 1965, and by 1976, there were no circulating coins that used silver except for a few special collector's editions. But somehow, during the Denver Mint's production, a silver blank intended for another coin found its way into the presses used for pennies. The result was a 1976 D. Lincoln cent that looked completely different. It had the design of a penny but the appearance of a silver coin. The color, the sound, the weight, everything was different from a normal copper penny. This coin, once discovered, was quickly authenticated and graded by a professional service. It received a near-perfect mint state grade and was declared a genuine off-metal error. At auction, this unique coin captured massive attention from serious collectors and sold for an incredible $1.5 million. Now here's the exciting part. This error likely occurred due to an extremely rare mistake at the mint, but similar errors could still exist. Coins are mass-produced in high-pressure, fast-paced environments. It only takes one slip, a blank from another denomination, an outdated planchet, or a loading error, and suddenly you have a coin that's 1 in a billion. So how can you tell if your 1976 D penny might be one of these rare treasures? start by looking at the color. A typical 1976 D penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It should have a brown or reddish tone. If your penny appears silver in color, that's a red flag, in the best way. Next, use a digital scale. A normal 1976 D copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. A silver planchet will weigh less, closer to 2.5 grams, depending on the metal. Also pay attention to the sound. Copper coins have a duller sound when dropped on a hard surface, while silver coins ring more sharply. Be cautious with this test, though, as dropping a rare coin could damage it. If your coin looks unusual or feels different, don't clean it or alter it in any way. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value completely. Instead, contact a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These services can authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin so you'll know exactly what you're holding. And if you happen to have one of these ultra-rare mint errors, it could be worth tens of thousands, or in the rarest case, even millions. But that's not all. The 1976 D penny also has other known error types that can carry value. These include double die obverse coins, which show a doubling effect in the lettering or on Lincoln's face. Off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned, are also collectible. And some coins were struck with clipped planchets or bonded layers, making them very desirable to collectors. So even if your penny isn't struck on silver, it might still be worth more than a cent. To wrap things up, the 1976 D Lincoln penny is a fascinating example of how even ordinary coins can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. Most are worth face value, but in rare cases, due to a mint error or a wrong planchet, they can be worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1.5 million. These coins are out there. People find rare coins every year in old collections, coin rolls, and pocket change. And there's no reason why the next big discovery couldn't be yours. Thank you for watching. If you learned something new today, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the surprising stories behind the change in your pocket. Drop a comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny or if there's a specific year or coin you want us to feature next. And as always, take a closer look at your change. That little penny could be worth a fortune. See you next time, and happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like this adapted for a YouTube short, broken into voiceover-ready segments, or customized for coin collecting channels. Welcome back to the channel that uncovers the stories, secrets, and shocking values behind coins that might be hiding in your pocket or stashed away in a change jar. Today, we're looking at one of the most recent pennies that's taken the coin collecting world by surprise. We're talking about the 2014 Lincoln penny. While billions of these coins were produced, and most are worth just 1 cent, a rare version of this coin has reportedly sold for as much as $1.2 million. That's right, a modern-day penny, minted just a few years ago, worth more than a luxury home or a sports car. How is that even possible? Let's dive into the history, the mystery, and the big money behind the 2014 Lincoln penny. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally had Lincoln's bust on the front and 2 wheat ears on the reverse. In 1959, the reverse design changed to show the Lincoln Memorial, and in 2009, the U.S. Mint celebrated the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth by releasing 4 new reverse designs showing scenes from his life. Then, starting in 2010, the reverse was changed again to show the Union Shield, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War. That brings us to the 2014 penny. In 2014, the Lincoln cent continued with the Union Shield reverse, a design created by artist Lyndall Bass. The front still features Lincoln's portrait, just like it has for over a century. The Mint produced billions of these pennies in Philadelphia and Denver, marked by either a P or D below the date. The coins were made of copper-plated zinc, which has been the standard composition since 1982. Most of these pennies are extremely common. You've probably handled dozens if not hundreds of them. So how can one possibly be worth over $1 million? Here's where it gets interesting. In the world of coin collecting, the biggest values often come from the smallest mistakes. We're talking about mint errors. A mint error is something that goes wrong during the striking process at the U.S. Mint. These are not damages caused by wear and tear or someone messing with the coin after it leaves the mint. These are factory mistakes, and they can turn ordinary coins into incredibly rare collectibles. In the case of the 2014 Lincoln penny, there have been several reported error types that have drawn serious attention from collectors, but one in particular has become legendary. A 2014 Lincoln penny, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was accidentally struck on a planchet mint for a silver dime. That means the 1-cent design was struck on a 10-cent blank. The result is a penny that weighs less than it should, has a bright silvery appearance instead of the usual copper tone, and is completely out of the ordinary. Not only was this a dramatic minting error, but the coin was also found in pristine condition, with a near-perfect mint state grade. When this error was authenticated and certified by a top grading service, it stunned the collecting world. At auction, the final hammer price was an unbelievable $1.2 million. That's the kind of number that grabs headlines and gets collectors across the country digging through their pocket change. So, what can you do to check if you might have a valuable 2014 penny? Start by looking at the basics. Check the date. Make sure it says 2014. Then look for the mint mark. A D means it was struck in Denver, while no mint mark or a small p means it came from Philadelphia. After that, you want to look closely for anything unusual. Does the coin look silver instead of copper? If so, that's your first clue. Grab a digital scale and weigh the coin. A normal 2014 penny made of copper-plated zinc should weigh about 2.5 grams. A coin struck on a dime planchet will weigh closer to 2.3 grams and have a completely different appearance and sound when dropped. Also, check for other error signs. Some 2014 pennies have been found with double die obverse errors, where Lincoln's face or the words "In God We Trust" appears slightly doubled. These can be worth a few $100s or more depending on clarity and condition. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and bonded coins are also worth a closer look. But the rarest and most valuable are the off-metal strikes, like the silver dime planchet error. If you suspect your coin is a valuable error, don't try to clean it or alter it in any way. That can ruin the value instantly. Instead, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate the error, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective holder. This not only confirms your coin's identity, but also allows you to sell or auction it to serious collectors who trust certified coins. Now let's talk about why these modern errors are so valuable. First, they are extremely rare. Mint quality control has improved a lot over the decades, so mistakes like this happen far less often than they did in the past. That makes modern error coins even more exciting for collectors because they aren't expecting these mistakes to slip through the cracks. Second, the coin market is hot. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for verified error coins, especially when they're unusual, modern, and in near-perfect condition. And third, it's the shock factor. The idea that a penny from 2014, a coin you might have gotten in change just a few years ago, could be worth over $1 million is simply mind-blowing. That kind of story spreads fast. It draws people into the hobby, gets them interested, and pushes prices even higher. Oh, here's the takeaway. The 2014 Lincoln penny is not rare on its own, but a few special errors, especially the off-metal strikes and the silver dime planchet coin, have made headlines and serious money. These coins are still out there. Maybe in a collection, maybe in a drawer, maybe in your pocket right now. It takes just a few seconds to look more closely, and it could be worth your while. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin with an error or want us to cover a specific year in a future video. And remember, that little penny in your hand might just be your ticket to $1 million surprise. See you next time, and happy coin hunting. If you'd like this broken into segments for video editing, formatted into a script for shorts or reels, or turned into a voiceover guide, just let me know.